Okay, so Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Well, as you know, I got an idea. Mohammed has his maktab exam coming up, inshallah, next week. And well, while we would be preparing for it, I thought maybe we could share it on our channel and prepare for it together. So the first topic we're going to talk about today is Wudhu. Okay, and I'll read the point, one point, and you'll all comment on it, whatever you think. You don't necessarily have to comment on it, but let's see. Okay, so the first one is miscellaneous points on Wudhu. The first one is a person's Wudhu will only break if the blood actually flows from its place. If the blood doesn't flow but remains in its place, the Wudhu will not be broken. So what does that make? What does that mean to you?
So, like, if you get like blood nose
Mm-hmm.
or something, like during or after wudu,
Mm-hmm.
if it like just stays there and it doesn't like start falling,
Mm-hmm.
then your wudu won't be broken. But then if it starts like dropping and flowing,
Mm-hmm.
then your wudu will be broken.
Okay, everyone understands this, agrees with it?
Yes.
Okay. If one bleeds from the teeth or somewhere in the mouth, one's wudu will be broken. When the blood is more or the same amount compared to one's saliva, this can be if that's how much it is. This can be understood if the saliva is yellowish or red. So for example, when a person gets scratched and sees some blood on his skin which does not move, with such blood, the wudu will not be broken as it does not flow. So if you have any blood in your mouth, sometimes your teeth start bleeding because you've just brushed and it's just the gums. So you have to see if the blood is flowing, then your wudu breaks. So you'll have to rinse your mouth and then make the wudu again. But if nothing like that happened, like there was only a little bit of blood when you spit out the saliva, you saw that there was a little bit of redness, not the wudu. Wudu is not broken. Okay. Clotted blood which comes out from the nose will not break wudu. So sometimes there is blood clotted. What does clot mean? What does clot mean? When
So
some
it's like a group of blood, kind of. I don't have a word for it. It's like a
blood clot is when the blood dries and sticks to a part of your body.
Oh.
So generally it is like a lump of blood that is also clot, but here they mean when it is clotted, which means when it is dried on your skin, or sometimes it stays inside your nose. So sometimes when you are cleaning your nose, you will see sometimes the boogers, they are actually red, so you can actually see that it's blood, but that's not going to break your wudu. You're just cleaning it.
Is clotted blood like this?
This is also a type of clotted blood. Yes. Second point is, if a person is wearing a tight ring, he must ensure water reaches the skin beneath the ring. This is a wajib requirement. Wajib means
wajib is like wajib is like something like important, I think. Like compulsory, I think.
it is next to compulsory. So the compulsory acts in Islam
Is that
are,
something you have to do?
yes, you have to do. It is not equal to fard. So the topmost is fard. That is something you can absolutely not leave, no matter what. Wajib is something you have to do, but if there is any emergency, if there is any sharai reason, like there is a reason which is like somebody is sick, or there is, God forbid, a very serious situation, because of that you're not able to do that, that's an exception only. Otherwise, wajib is meant to be performed. So which means there is, obviously you are to take off the ring or move the ring. So the solution would be, if you're wearing a ring and it's a bit tight, so when you're making wudu, you just move it a bit. You just give it a little shake, or like a move or a wiggle, so the water can go inside, and you'll feel it, that the water has gone in underneath the skin, so the whole skin is covered. You don't leave any spots in between. Yeah. Number 3, if anything sticks into the skin which stops water from reaching the skin below, it is compulsory to remove that substance. Wudu will not be valid until the substance is removed and water touches the skin. For example, if a person has paint which coats the skin over his fingers, he must first remove the paint stains before doing wudu. So, like when we were growing up, we were told that we shouldn't wear nail color, nail paint. So we have Maria break now. Maria is here. Yes, Maria. Oh, what happened? Okay, let's. Maria is being cheeky. Okay, so when when growing up, I used to love putting nail polish on my fingers, on my nails, and then we heard that when you are making wudu, because paint is oil based, paint prevents water from reaching, passing through it. So what happens is when you've put paint on any part of your body, and that is must to be cleaned or wiped or washed while you're making wudu. So that means you have to remove the paint because the wudu is not complete because the skin didn't get it, didn't get washed. Yeah. Number 4, if a person laughs in the salah, Maya break is here again. Okay, Maria, we're going to sit down. Maya, we're going to sit down, okay? Okay, if a person laughs in salah to the extent that another person may be able to hear it, the salah and wudu both are broken. Now, I am a little in disagreement because this is your course book. We have to go with it. But so in the exam, you will write that yes, it is broken, but actually, wudu does not, according to our school of thought.
So like if it's like a little chuckle, does that mean it's still broken?
If it makes sound, the salah is broken.
That's the point, is if it makes sound, then the salah is broken. So if you are it's fine. But if you that is, you've made a sound, and that means the wudu is broken. The salah is broken. Maria is here again. Now we'll keep getting the Maria break. Maria, stop being silly. Okay, so what happens is, according to the school of thoughts that we follow, Maria, nahi jano. According to the school of thoughts that we follow, the wudu doesn't break because you laughed, but because you were making praying and you made a sound while praying. Because you were laughing, so that's why your salah only breaks. So you have to restart and from the beginning.
So smiling and salah is okay.
Yes, smiling is fine. But if you think about it, why is it breaking the salah? Because you are so engaged and involved in your surroundings. You're not
distracting yourself and other people.
Yes, you could be distracting other people. It also means that you are also focused on other things, but then sometimes it's humanly not possible to stop your laughter. You're smiling, but if you laugh out loud, then it's like that's it. You have to stop. You have to restart your prayer. Okay, I think we're reaching the okay. If he laughs to the extent that only he himself hears it, only the salah will be broken. If a person smiles in their salah will not be broken, nor will the wudu be broken. Yeah, so that's what we've discussed already. Number 5, if a person falls asleep whilst sitting on the ground cross-legged, his wudu will not break. So now if he's sitting and he's like kind of taking a bit of he dozes off like a little bit, it's fine. But, okay.
So I feel like something like this, and then it completely falls.
Yeah, you feel a little bit, like sometimes old people, blocking Hamza.
What if you completely fall asleep?
When you completely fall asleep, like you completely fall on the ground, that's how much you're deep in your sleep, then the wudu is broken. Otherwise, you're sitting and you take a slight snooze, like you're sitting there, you stay in the same position that you are, then the wudu doesn't break.
So like if I'm going to madrasa, then the times I sleep, does that mean my wudu is broken?
Yes. Because you sleep like you completely are
What if I
deep.
can still hear you?
Okay, if you keep sitting straight and then you are lightly taking bit of a rest, or you do fall asleep even doing that, So, I'll tell you, once when Dada and Dada were visiting, one day I saw that Dada was sitting, and he was sitting on his bed with his head slightly bent to the front. Um, and I told Dada, why is Dada not sleeping? Why is he sitting like that? Just so that he could be comfortable. So Dada said, because he's just trying to hold his Wudhu. Even while we were traveling, when Amida and Abuji were here, so when Abuji used to be with us and we were traveling long distance, so sometimes sitting in the car, sometimes Abuji used to go fall asleep, and then he would wake up and start praying.
And you go to it.
Okay, this is the last one, I think. Similarly, if a person leans on something whilst his bottom is firmly on the ground, his wudu will not break. So, like in the car, so that means your wudu doesn't break. When you're sitting, your bottoms don't move, you're just like slightly, you lean onto something. If a person falls asleep whilst performing sajda according to the sunnah manner, his wudu will not break. Okay, oh, there is more. If a person has a doubt whether they have wudu or not, they should look to certainty with regard to wudu. If they are sure of performing it earlier and are only unsure about the breaking of wudu, then they should consider the wudu unbroken. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very lenient. If you are very sure, now this is a matter between you and Allah ta'ala. Now you can trick your parents, you can trick your teachers, but you cannot trick Allah ta'ala. We have to be very sure of that. So think to yourself and talk to Allah ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I think I don't remember if I did break my wudu, can you please remind me? Otherwise, just try to think the most honestly that you can. Go backtrack all your actions, whatever you've done until then, from the time you made the wudu until then, and if you can think of any point that you did break your wudu, then you consider it broken. Otherwise, you cannot think, and you're in between, then consider that it's unbroken. But you have to be very honest. This is between you and Allah ta'ala. Okay? Alright. Number 7, if a person forgets to wash a limb in wudu and remembers afterwards, it's not necessary to repeat the entire wudu. Washing that limb alone will be sufficient. So, limb, what is a limb? Limb. L-I-M-B. Limb.
A limb is like your arms or your legs.
Arms or your legs. The upper limbs are your arms and the lower limbs are your legs. So if sometimes you forget any one of the areas to be washed, basically this means any one of the areas, and you remember after you've completed the whole wudu, but basically it's about the limbs because they are not one of the faraid of wudu. So when you remember, once you're done with your wudu, you can instead of making the whole wudu all over again, just go and wash that part only. Okay, does that make sense? Okay. Number 8, it's not permissible to touch the Quran except with wudu. Likewise, if a Quran ayah is written somewhere, one cannot touch that part of the paper where the Quran is written except with wudu. So you have to be very sure that you're touching Quran while you are with wudu. So when you recite your Quran, when you're going to madrasa, you are going there to recite Quran, to read Quran as well. So you should make sure, and when you read Quran at home, Hudhaifa, with Rabia Khala, so even you should make sure that you've made wudu because you're touching Quran. Okay. Number 9, wudu is not broken by cutting one's hair or nails. So you're just clipping your nails or something, cutting a bit of hair, shaving or something. It doesn't break your wudu. Alright, number 10. If a person has a light beard such that the skin under the beard remains visible, then it is necessary that the water used during wudu reaches his facial skin. So you know how when you start getting your facial hair, so when you wash, you have to make sure that the water is going through the beard, the hair. Okay. If somebody has a dense beard, he will only wash the hair on the face. He will not have to wash the skin below the beard. So what happens is you just, run your wet fingers through your beard. Ask Baba how does he make wudu. Okay, but if he also doesn't have long beard, but like Abuji, he used to you run your fingers through it, so you make sure that most of it is done, it's covered. Number 11, if from the eye or ear liquid leaks, then one must see whether or not it is found from a wound. If the water is from a wound within the eye or ear, one's wudu will break. Well, if it's a wound like a cut, really, so then I understand that it would be considered broken. So you'll have to make the wudu again. Number 12, it is desirable and good to perform fresh wudu for every salah, even if one has wudu already. So that is something we need to start practicing. Maybe you're not doing it already, it's okay. But you should know what is ahsan. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likes it when you're doing, He is okay with when you're doing the bare minimum. But I would say you should always try to keep making your acts better, your deeds better. So there is the topmost, the best kind of deeds are the hasanat, ahsan. Ahsan is the level we want to achieve, which is English, translated in English as excellence. So you want to reach excellence. You should not settle for good and better. You should go for excellent, right? And number 13, if one has long nails, it is essential that water reaches underneath them. So sometimes people grow nails. So you should make sure that the skin, this is skin up to here, right? So you make sure you don't just wash your hands and then that's it. No, just make sure your tips of your fingers, they are all wet. So we're done up to here. Next we'll be doing tayammum. Yeah, so let's see if we're able to record it or we'll just do it on our own. We'll see. So any questions?
No.
All right. Okay, so we'll wrap it up here. Okay, so jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.